Brad, are we live? Are we going? Okay. 10 after 6 on Thursday, the 16th of April, and this is the April meeting of the Bolivar Board of Education. At this point, I, as president, call this meeting to order. Is there a motion that we approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
So moved by JR, seconded by Jared. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And the motion passes. Welcome to our board meeting. We're a Zoom meeting tonight. Several of the board members are assembled here in the boardroom, and we have others joining from different locations. Also attending our meeting this evening are Sheila Anderson, our board secretary, Brad Sterling, our technology director, David Guerin, our high school principal, Kelly Schultz, our director, and a faithful report from the Bolivar Herald Free Press. So, and everybody else you can see on screen. In the closed session before this, before we went live on with our open session, we approved our consent agenda items, which were the minutes from our previous meeting. We paid bills and had some personnel actions. And so at this time, I would entertain a motion for the approval of our consent agenda item. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, and is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by JR. Is there any further discussion on our consent agenda items? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, and that motion passes. We're going to go forward with our district update. Dr. Berry?
Well, start off a little bit. It's kind of sad that the favorite part of my school board meetings always has been those teachers' minutes and the student minutes, and that's kind of, we had to take that out of the board meeting, so we get to go right to the fun stuff and the district updates. Dr. Wall, I'll let you lead off with the things that we're doing in Pillar 3, which is our academic services.
Okay. Well, we've been visiting with the instructional coaches about how we're going to scaffold learning. We know that we've missed a quarter of school. Teachers are doing an amazing job of providing enrichment activities to students, but we also know that we've got standards that we need to, and it's our responsibility to get that done. So we are planning how we're going to be doing that when we come back to school in August. And also, we're really looking at summer school. We visited with our summer school principals, and they visited with their building leaders about, you know, best case scenario. And of course, everyone would love to come back, you know, June 1 and have 4 weeks of summer school and finish up on the 26th and have a seated, great experience. We recognize the likelihood of that happening is pretty slim, and so we gave a second best case scenario. The high school, honestly, would like to start June 1 and go into online learning if they need to. They have 7 core courses that they teach every summer, including academic recovery, and those teachers are well prepared to do that. So they're making plans to do that now. All high school students have Chromebooks. They have opportunities. They feel like they're going to have better engagement at the high school level if they just move into summer school come June 1st with an online platform and finish up by the end of June. Your elementary principals and middle school principals feel a little differently, and for good reason. A lot of kids come to elementary summer school and middle school for engagement. You know, they want to be at school, they want to see their friends, they want lunch and breakfast, they're excited about visiting with their teachers in a less formal atmosphere, they're excited about the activities we offer. So they're coming for different reasons, you know, where the high school kids are coming to recover credit or to earn a credit. So those leaders really feel like a seated course is the best way for us to go. So their second best option would be to look at, when can we offer summer school? If June 1st isn't a possibility, maybe we could look at the last 2 weeks in June, the first 2 weeks in July. The next option for them would be 4 weeks in July if we can't do the split. They really don't want to come back August. They feel like teachers are going to have to get in and get those buildings ready and get prepared for the start of the school year. So that would be their preference for a second best option. Third best option for all buildings, the high school would do a later schedule. They feel like, though, they're going to lose a lot of interest from students if the more they postpone that learning opportunity. And then our elementaries would go to, if DESE funded it and parents were wanting an online type of packet situation. They really want kids to get it, though. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're preparing for, is possibly online learning at the high school. If we can't start June 1, they would start June 1 with online classes. And then we would look at a little bit later start with our K through 8th grade students. We're interested in a very robust summer school. We've missed a month of school. I was talking to instructional coaches today. We have a meeting with our summer school leadership on Wednesday. We really want to get in and move that learning forward. We aren't naive enough to think there might be a few kids that don't come, and they're going to have to be scaffolded in the fall. So this is two situations, a rich summer school and then building out some scaffolding in the fall, so we make sure they don't have any gaps or omissions in their curriculum. And so that's the work we're doing right now.
Thank you. The entire gist of for Pillar 3 is we will have summer school. What it's going to look like, I think, is going to be very determinative about decisions that the government is making moving forward and when we can and cannot get back into school. As far as further updates, Pillar 1, which involves our quality faculty and staff, right now we're still planning, just like we're needing to be able to start school for the next school year. We're deep in the hiring process. We've had to hire. We are hiring teachers right now. Our building leads are interviewing teachers right now. The meal delivery that we have for the COVID is, you know, I hear a lot of things go on, and I actually spoke to a big city superintendent. I won't mention the city. I won't give the initials, but it was Kansas City. That they were like, oh yeah, we've got a lot of. We delivered 1,500 meals today. Well, okay, we're clipping around 2,800 to 3,000 every day, and that's hitting around 1,500 kids every day that we're meeting needs in. It's very robust. I'm very proud of our food service staff. I'm very proud of our teachers that have volunteered to jump on and help with that. And the thing about it is, you're really not working when you volunteer to help with that, because the benefit you get back from seeing the kids, and that's what we're all about doing, it's more of a benefit for you than it is even for the kids, and I know that they really need it. We have teachers that are preparing vigorously with their online curriculum, and hopefully, and I hope there's some students watching right now, get involved with that. Take advantage of that. That takes me to Pillar 2, which is our future-ready leaders. Listen to me. Listen to me good. Take a recording of this. Now is the time, students, that you can separate yourself. You can become that future-ready leader because you have an opportunity given to you. And a lot of kids, a lot of people, maybe a lot of different communities are not going to be challenging themselves and moving forward. Here's where you can separate as a student. Here's where you can separate as a performer. Get out there. The coaches, the teachers, the directors, they're giving you assignments. They're giving you things to do. Separate. Separate now. Be that leader that I know you can be, and our community is going to benefit from it. Pillar 4, community partnerships and things. I've had a lot of people calling saying, what can we do to help? What can we do to help? And some people like Coke, for instance, and Woods, they're wanting to be able to give out extra treats on the bus ride. So that last week of school, the people that are getting meals delivered to them, we're going to be able to give them some donuts and maybe some Coke. Really make the parents real happy because we'll put them on a whole nother sugar high. But serious, I want to talk to you, and especially to those that are listening. And David, if you can David Talley. A lot of people are getting incentive checks right now, And I'm by no means somebody that can tell you how or where or what to do with that money, but I would tell you consider your local vendors, consider your local people in our community that have helped our schools so much. If whatever you're going to spend your money on, I hope that you will consider utilizing the Bolivar community for the expenditure of those funds. Pillar 5, our safe learning environments. At the ECLC, they're moving along at a very fast clip. So far, they are considered essential workers, so we've not missed a step. Drywall is going up, and I encourage you, give me a call, any of the board members, and we'll go out there and take a look at it again. I don't really want to make a big production like we did before, but the drywall's going up. I mean, it's really looking like a school, and hallelujah, the brick's going up.
It looks really good.
And the brick looks really good.
It was the right
The electric, plumb, HVAC, fire, all the roughing is complete. And they're starting on the roads from D and the widening at Division. The completion date for that is May 21st. I mean, when they get going, they're going to get going, and it's going to be, they're there and they're gone, and we're going to be ready to add the road in. And so things are going very well. At the middle school, all the mason is complete. The steel work will be completed this week, and the roofing starts next week. So the district, though we are in a situation right now, we're still moving forward with a lot of our plans, and hats off to Dr. Wall and to all of our teachers that are, and our building leaders that are making the academics still a point of high priority for our district. That's our district report.
Very good. Do you guys have any questions for either Dr. Wall or Dr. Berry?
For the summer school program, will kids go on to their grade for next year, or will they stay with their existing grade?
And we've had a lot of discussion. We haven't talked to principals yet, but in talking to coaches, we think it would make a lot of sense if they went into their existing grade and with their existing teacher, if he or she is teaching summer school. They do a lot. They use pacing calendars, so we know where we left off, and we just feel like that would not only wrap up the school year for them. We talked a little bit about maybe doing a boot camp, and the last day, letting them promote and spend the day in their new classroom or in their new hallway, so they know what to expect when school starts. So another discussion we had was that 8th grade students with high school going online, you know, if there was a student that wanted to take health or PE or one of those courses that they normally take at the high school online, they could do that and still go to 8th grade summer school. So that was kind of a benefit, that they could still get that credit out of the way if they wanted to. So lots to think about, lots of good people learning, but yes, we're excited. I think teachers miss students, and I think students miss their teachers. And so if we can make that happen this summer, that would be a blessing.
Very good. The food program has been just exceptional. I tell you, I don't know if there's another thing we've done in recent history that has solidified or strengthened the bond between our community and the school, so our hats off to those people who are volunteering their time to do that, and our food service workers, folks making that possible. Is there a plan this summer to have anything food-wise? Would it be just in conjunction with summer school, or?
Of course, summer school will be breakfast and lunch for anyone that attends. Anna Williams has always done a summer feeding program. I'm sure she will do that this summer. That's just been at different spots throughout the community. We've not bust that, but I'm sure there will be a summer feeding program available as well.
Good. Do you all have any other questions?
TC, and forgive me if I've just missed this somewhere in all the information. What about in the high school? What are we doing about grades? Are they grading? Are we?
You know, in visiting with Dr. Garrett in the high school, from when we started on the 20th of May, when we came back from spring break, up to this Friday, we are saying, you know, third quarter grades are going to just roll forward. You have an opportunity to improve your grade if you're engaging, but it's not going to hurt you. After the governor came online and said no school for the rest of Missouri, the high school teachers in the high school are starting on Monday. Now, this will be communicated with families, but on Monday, they're going to start requiring students to engage with coursework. Their grade can increase as now, but if they're not getting in, they're not doing anything, they're not engaging at all, then they could drop up to 1 full letter grade. That will not start until Monday. That will roll to the end of the school year, which is May 22nd. So between Monday and May 22nd, we're going to want to see them engaged. Of course, Dr. Guerin and his staff are making concessions for students that just absolutely aren't linked in. They don't have access. We're going to be considering equity issues as well. But for those students that can and have resources, we're going to want them to engage and complete some of the work that the teachers have pushed out for them. Of course, dual credit classes are moving just like a college course would, and they'll be expected to take assessments and finish that class out to get that dual credit. But they're changing that criteria a little bit from Monday to the end of the school year, just because the conditions have changed a lot. We didn't realize when we started that we would be in this for such a long haul. At the elementaries, from kindergarten through 8th grade, we're going to maintain what we had started. It's a little different there. It's not a credit-bearing grade that they're receiving from kindergarten through 8th grade. Of course, we're encouraging students to engage. Many of our students are, but it's a little different grading process from kindergarten through 8th grade. Do you have any more questions? Does that make sense?
I don't, thank you. Yeah.
Great question, Brandon.
Yes.
The rest of you have any further questions? Okay, well, we'll move forward on our agenda to our board update. I do want to make a special note that this would normally be our transition meeting where we would elect board officers. We'd have new board members joining us if we'd had our election in April. So I want to especially thank Bill Van Hornbeek and Jesse Sheffick, who are tied into further service to the board. So thank you for being here and serving in unprecedented times. We have not heard any further update on whether or not there will be an election in June. We assume there will be. Have you heard anything?
Based on what the governor said today at 3 o'clock, I don't know that it will be the first Tuesday in June.
Yeah.
But yes, there will be elections. I think a lot of some parties feel like there's a great importance in being able to show your voter ID and making sure that you are the real person that is doing the voting. So that would take that they are a live election. So I think it will. I would question that it would be the first Tuesday in June.
That would be, yeah. So I'm sure we'll get some more updates as that goes, but until that time that your replacements have been elected, Bill and Jesse, thank you for hanging in there with us. That's very appreciated. We usually have a Missouri School Board Association meeting in the summer. I don't believe we're going to be doing that this year. So just we're kind of hanging around and in a holding pattern until we can move forward. So thank you all for your continued service. That's all I have. Do y'all have any questions for me? Great. We're going to go on to our old business. We are going to be discussing the plans for graduation for this year's seniors. And Dr. Guerin is joining us, but you don't have a Chromebook in front of you. Can you come up here so we can get you on the microphone so everyone can hear?
Absolutely.
Okay. JR is going to social distance and share his Chromebook possibly, or I'm not sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. All right, so as you all know, we've been having lots of conversations about graduation and what that might look like. It's been a big topic for all school administrators, and I've had numerous discussions with my colleagues around the area. But we also did a survey of the senior class and kind of asked them for some feedback on what their thoughts were based on different scenarios that we were hearing some schools were considering, some of the ideas that were out there. And so we gave them 3 different options, and then also just had an open-ended response of what other ideas or thoughts or things of that nature that you have that you would like to share. And it was a huge number of the graduates want to have a traditional graduation that is, a large gathering, which I want that too. I mean, that's important. That's such a milestone. That's such a big part. That's the biggest event in the life of our entire school district, and because it's a culmination of their entire school career. I mean, it really is. The community involvement and all that happens with that is so important and so valuable, and we look forward to that so much. We want to do that. We also gave them a couple other options of, hey, what about doing like a virtual graduation? We could still do it on May the 17th if you didn't want to, have to wait, maybe if we had delays because of, social distancing and things being shut down. Or another option was doing some type of a drive-through graduation, and those ideas, of course, you see kind of the feedback here on that. 80% wants a traditional graduation, and those other options were far less appealing to all of us, I think. So given that information and also talking to other school administrators and kind of what they're thinking, we kind of have a rolling proposal here as far as our plan. May the 17th, after Governor Parson closed the schools, in my mind, it kind of shut that down, but I don't know. Is there any chance that things could open up quickly enough? I doubt it, but I, so if we have to not do May the 17th, then my next suggestion would be that we roll to June. I'm looking at the last Sunday in June as a possible date for graduation. Stick with our Sunday. That's been tradition. That's been typical. We could go for that at 3:30. We would not do it at SBU. We would do it at our place. We have 155 graduates this year, so our class isn't huge, and we can accommodate that with the overflow to the auditorium if we need to. So then if that date didn't work, let's say we're still, large gatherings are prohibited, aren't allowed, then we would roll then to July and look at the last Sunday in July, which again would be at 3:30. And again in the main gym at the high school with overflow to the auditorium. So then, if July still isn't an option, then we would look at doing, since the second option for the senior class was doing some type of a drive-through graduation, we would look at that. We would have to get, plans made for what that would look like exactly, but it would be some type of a, maybe even a parade through town, like people could come out and wave and congratulate them, and maybe that would culminate at the high school where they could be handed their diploma, get their picture taken, turn their tassel, do as much as we can to make that really like graduation, even though it wouldn't be, in the large gathering. So the details in that are going to take a lot of work if we get there. I mean, that's going to take a lot of work to get that coordinated because you're just dealing with a lot of people that would be interested in that, but I think we can pull it off. So a couple of things that, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this, but a couple of things that I'm still really, really wondering about is, graduates who can't attend on alternate dates. I know they're going to be disappointed and what that might look like. And then just the last date that we need to be making these decisions. Like, when should we know, like, are we going to do it May the 17th? And when do we need to decide, okay, we're rolling on to the next, proposed date or the next possibility? So any feedback, though, is appreciated on all this. I'm just really interested to know what your thoughts are.
Aaron and I spoke, we kind of talked, there needs to be a drop dead date of it's going to happen this date, and how much lead time do we need? Him and I had kind of talked, that we felt like, that Friday, and then you have the weekend, and then it'd be on Sunday, so it'd be a 9-day stretch. So it would be essentially, we kind of thought maybe 9 days in advance, you know, if we get to, June 18th, I think it might be June 18th, we need to make a decision because people need to know, about that date. And then if we get to whatever that next date, what do you guys think about a 9-day lead on that? And after we make a decision on that, there has to be no going back, from that. So do you guys feel like a 9-day lead is appropriate?
I think if we can let the community know that this is the schedule, on this day we'll know for sure whether we'll be there, if it'll be that day. And we publicize that as much as possible, so people can be looking for the news on that day.
Is it too confusing to put those 2 dates out there? People can pencil them in
Right,
and,
yeah, I think
and,
I think we should.
And I think that's why Dr. Guerin put together this schedule so that we could pencil those.
Yeah,
two.
I was hoping even tomorrow,
Yeah.
we're gonna be communicating a lot of things, because this week we've been working on okay, we're closed for the whole year. You know, that's just like with the grading, we've got some things that our families need to be aware, students need to be aware of as far as how that we're doing that we kind of held off on, because we thought maybe we'll come back, you know. And it's taken a lot this week to get all this kind of hammered out, but yeah, I would hope to be able to go ahead and explain that and say kind of just what I'm presenting tonight to families, so they know, like, pencil those dates in as like schedule around that, because you never know, that might be when we're having our graduation.
so given that, I don't know if you'd even need to do it, I mean, I don't know, 9 days, what did you say, 9 days?
Yeah, that
No.
Friday, the Friday,
Friday
Week
before.
before,
I don't
Yeah,
wanna
that's
get that confused with the Friday before that next Sunday.
right,
That-
that's 2 days.
It would be a 9-day lead.
I think it's plenty of time for you guys to make changes if you need to.
I think we should probably just say, we're pretty confident that May 17th will not happen. As hard as that is to
Sure.
say, just so people,
People can start to
you're right, make other
get
plans.
it around there.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I just.
Doesn't everybody think, sorry, go ahead, Paula, sorry.
I just don't see that there's any way it could be a possibility that we're allowed to have thousands of people together in a combined space less than 30 days.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think the 9 days is more than enough time, because if we can't have it, no, they're not gonna be doing anything else anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you saying wait till 9 days before the 17th to decide for sure?
No, I say we cancel on the 17th, but then like the 9-day window, like I'm fine with that, because I think that gives us more than enough time, because people aren't gonna be doing anything anyway if we can't do it in 9 days.
How did you come up with it, June 28th?
I just thought it would be the latest Sunday in June, just to give us more time, basically, for things to hopefully get better, because they say the deeper into summer we get, they think it's gonna continue to improve potentially. That was kind of the thought behind that. And I thought, well, you probably wanna stay away from 4th of July week, just because a lot of people do plans and things. Who knows if they'll be able to this year, but, that was kind of the thinking on that. So would you suggest that we even, do we say, if we can't have it on May the 17th still, do you think, or do we want to communicate it like that? Could
I just give you a proposal? Let us do it closer, because if, we never know, and we're not gonna be able to come back off of that.
Sure.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so what's it hurt to say, if we can't have it May the
Right,
17th?
yeah, that's true.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think we need to let people know when we're gonna know that, though.
I do agree
So
with
we're
that. I
not
just
waiting
think
till
having days.
It'll be no later than 9 days before.
Okay, stick with the 9 days.
Yeah, stick with the
Okay.
9 days. It'll be no later than 9 days before,
That's totally
then
fine.
we'll announce like what the,
Well, what about this? I mean, because here's the deal, the 17th, if the governor comes out on the 15th and says, hey, you guys are all able to get back into big groups, right, then that date's gone.
It would still be gone, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can cancel that, I would say maybe 3 to 5 days in front of the 17th, but maybe give, maybe a little bit longer in front of the other ones. Because this one, this one's been established for a long
true.
time, so.
So you're saying wait as late as
Yeah,
possible
yeah,
to cancel on the 17th?
cause he may come with an order that says, hey, everybody's good to go.
Because it sounds like May 4th, we will start to have openings.
Process.
So potentially, if 2 weeks later, we haven't had a spike, I mean,
Mhm.
it's not likely, but it's possible.
What
if we just use the June date, and if the restrictions are lifted, we have it. If the restrictions are still in place, we do the drive-through. You pick one date, you stick with it, and you just alter what the graduation might look like based on the circumstance, rather than having a rolling, changing date.
I think that based on the feedback that I got, even in the comments, the kids are really, like some said, hey, I don't care if it's next December, I want to have a graduation. I want to walk across that stage.
Yeah.
Like, this is really important to me. So I don't really think it's wise to go beyond the summer, because there's going to be other things that are going to be happening with going to college and stuff like that. But I think we need to give every chance possible this summer to try to actually have graduation. So I think the best chance of doing that is the rolling date, and we have seen other schools that have already publicized that they're doing something similar to that. So we would need on the May the 17th, though, to cancel early enough that we could call off our rehearsal, because we wouldn't want to have rehearsal if we weren't going to be able to have it on the 17th. But otherwise, I mean, I think we probably could cancel without having any more lead time than.
As long as we told everybody what we were doing.
Yeah.
By this time.
Yeah.
And by sooner than that, we might even have more guidance.
And if we know sooner, I would rather just go ahead and say, hey, it's
Right,
not
we
going to
know
happen.
now.
This is not, there comes a time where you just see the writing on the wall that it's just not probably going to happen. But
Here's my suggestion. At homecoming next year, let's make sure each of these kids gets a special invitation home, and
that'd be
they're
great.
in the parade, and do something at halftime, and let them all walk across the field, and
That'd be awesome, yeah.
Cool.
Recognize them at halftime, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. That'd be really cool. Yeah, we're looking at different ideas. We're hearing a lot of different things, and, we're planning on social media recognizing every one of the senior class. So that's a cool thing. I know there's been some talk about getting some signage, banners up around town and things like that, just to let them know that they're known and seen and cared about, and that this is hard, and we recognize that. And today was cool. It was hard for some people too, but it was cool just to pass out the cap and gowns and see everybody. And I think it felt like this is part of one of the little rites of passage of your senior year is getting your cap and gown. So they were able to do that, and that was good. So that's a great idea, though, Paula. I like that a lot. That's fantastic.
I think if we just let them know now, that plan on that,
Yeah.
and that'll be something to.
Yeah, kind of in
To look forward to,
in
yeah.
addition to the,
Other
obviously,
things,
the graduation ceremony, we'll plan this event, and this is the date, and mark it on your calendar now.
We can work with, make it their,
Yeah, do something pretty cool
at
there,
least make
too.
their
yeah.
first homecoming a special one, the way
Yeah.
we usually do.
Yeah. Good.
An event you might want to use also for those who couldn't make any of these dates
Oh, yeah,
to
there-
pick
Yeah.
up their diploma.
sure,
I mean, some type of special
Yeah.
event like that.
that's a neat idea.
Otherwise you're going to be pretty fragmented trying to get those in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would drop anything I'm doing to come out to high school at any time after these events.
Absolutely.
That's great. That best date would be the 17th,
Mhm.
because everybody has already planned for it, so maybe that could be a social distanced graduation picture, and maybe schedule times for people that can't, give them that option. It wouldn't be a full-on ceremony, but it'd be getting their diploma and a board member handing
If they
it in.
can't participate in the summer dates, yeah, that's a good
Oh,
possibility, yeah.
Yeah, I would do that.
I think it would be very, very few, based on what I saw from the comments. Of course, I mean, we didn't get everybody's feedback either, because 88 of 155 did the survey. So, yeah, really, I don't know exactly how many it would be, but there were a couple that said, hey, it might be hard for me in the summer, or some of them had like one date. Please don't schedule it on June the 1st, because I'm gonna be, whatever. And you had military, kids going to the military, things like that.
I think you're gonna miss some.
You're gonna miss a few, yeah. But it's not like normal,
Right.
because people just aren't
People
going
can't
like
just
they
go.
normally
Yeah,
are.
I mean,
Everybody seems like
They
it's.
think they have plans on June first, but they may not
They
have
may
any
not,
plans
yeah.
on June first. And I mean,
Whoa.
the colleges are already talking about kids not coming on campus next fall at all. So, I mean, they may,
It's hard to say what it's gonna
they
look
may
like,
have big
yeah.
plans now, but, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, that's.
All right, going on with the new business on our agenda. There may be a pandemic, but we still have to buy paper and computers, so, we're gonna go on and consider the approval of, the paper bids.
There's really not it's just the approval to solicit bids. We do not have any bids or anything. These next two agenda items are very bland and just saying.
We're just getting ready to
Yeah.
approve the paper. Wow.
We're just, when it gets over the cost factor, we have to say,
Right.
board, you understand, we're gonna be spending a lot of money on paper, and we're gonna be spending a lot of money
yeah.
on computers, just approval for us to go solicit bids.
Yeah, so it's not even as exciting as approving a purchase.
Yeah, so a question I have, not related to copy paper, but paper in general, is there a shortage of toilet paper when you order from these larger companies, or how does that?
Yeah, no
You
kidding.
know how to deal with it with no students here, but, I've not even gone down that path. Kelly, have?
Already, ordered his fall supplies from Hilliard, our stock.
They don't have a shortage.
I think we're in pretty good shape. I think something like hand sanitizer, he can't get hand sanitizer, but he doesn't buy the canned hand sanitizer, or the bottle, he buys the dispenser sanitizer, so it's a little different deal, but I don't think there's anything that's got a shortage from me.
That's good.
He's already in stock for next year, so.
I might shoot you that for a couple rolls.
Well, you're delivering it though, aren't you with the food? I heard that they were adding like paper products into the food delivery in cases where it's needed. No? Maybe some teachers have
That
been
might
doing
have been
that.
somebody
Okay,
doing something on their
individuals,
own.
but yeah, okay.
You know, what's gonna happen when we start needing toilet paper is they're gonna have toilet paper running out of the factories as fast as, because everybody that has stockpiled it is not gonna go buy more toilet paper, so I think we're gonna be in good shape. As long as things open back up. Wait, and we're talking about toilet paper now.
Okay, so, we're not gonna buy paper, but we're gonna consider approving the purchase of paper. So is there a motion that we approve the solicitation of copy paper bids? So moved by Bill, seconded by Jared. Is there any further discussion of soliciting paper bids? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those,
Aye.
thank you, Brenda. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, go get that paper. Moving on to, Chromebooks, same thing. Is there a motion that we approve the Chromebook request for proposal as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Jira and seconded by
Second.
JR. Any further discussion on our Chromebooks, Dr. Berry?
Oh, man.
Alrighty. So all those in favor of approving the, request for proposal for Chromebooks, say aye.
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 And those opposed, same sign. And that motion passes. Okay. Our May meeting, if you have your calendar handy.
May 21 will, typically, we have moved our May meeting off of that date because it being right next to the last day of school, but I think we're gonna be okay.
Okay. Yeah. I have a feeling we'll be all right. Okay, so, our next meeting will be May 21st. We may or may not have a Zoom meeting. We might meet in person, but we might not. And, as the rest of the year develops, of course, we know Dr. Berry will keep us well informed of what's happening and, communicate that information to our community as well. Is there any other business that should come before this board? Hearing nothing, I would entertain a motion that our meeting be adjourned. Is there a motion
So
to be
moved.
adjourned? So moved by Brandon, seconded
Second.
by Kyle. Thanks, Kyle. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Thanks, guys.